Welcome to Conflict News 24. On daily basis, we share impartial updates on global conflicts. Firstly, today Taiwan shot down a Chinese drone. This is the first time that a Chinese drone has been shot down by Taiwan. Secondly, US supplied Haram missiles have arrived in Ukraine, and in the ongoing counteroffensive launched by Ukrainian military in southern Ukraine against Russian forces, these Haram missiles are being used by Ukrainian forces. Can these US supplied missiles bring about any change on the battlefield? And lastly, at last, International Atomic Energy Agency experts managed to arrive at Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant today. Rafael Grossi, just an hour ago, announced his return from the plant as well. He is due to depart, but other inspectors are there. We have details for you. Firstly, was Taiwan China tensions. Taiwan is used to Chinese breach of Taiwanese airspace, and almost on a daily basis, or you can say regularly, Chinese aircrafts, Chinese drones breach Taiwanese airspace. Taiwanese Ministry of Defense releases statements about these breaches, but never in the past did we see a Chinese drone or jet shot down by Taiwanese forces. Today, for the first time, it happened that a Chinese drone was shot down by Taiwanese forces. Where did it happen? It happened over a group of islands which is very close to mainland China. Kinmen is a group of Taiwan controlled islands, and it is situated around 10 kilometers away from mainland China. So it's very close to mainland China. You can see on your map Kinmen Islands, a group of islands. It is controlled by Taiwan, and it is very close to China, very close to Chinese city Xiamen. Around 10 kilometers away from Xiamen are these islands called Kinmen Islands. And here, three Chinese civilian drones entered the airspace of these Kinmen group of islands. Warning shots were fired, and then live ammunition was fired, and one drone was shut down. It was a civilian drone, not a combat drone. Chinese reconnaissance drones conduct regular flights over Taiwan controlled islands in the Pacific Ocean, in Taiwan Strait, because China wants to be in touch with what is happening in Taiwan in terms of military preparations, in terms of delivery of arms, weapons, because we know that Taiwan has signed a new agreement with the US to buy US Reaper drones. So in coming days, there could be delivery of US combat drones to Taiwan. So that is why Chinese drones, Chinese planes, they conduct reconnaissance flights over Taiwan. It keeps on happening. But Taiwan does not engage these Chinese planes. This is the first time that a Chinese drone has been shot down. Taiwanese Ministry of Defense has confirmed this incident. No statement from Chinese government so far. At the start of last month, August, we know that Nancy Pelosi, US House Speaker, visited Taiwan despite threats from China. After that, China conducted week-long military drills around Taiwan. Life came to a standstill in Taiwan. Taiwanese imports, exports were disrupted. The maneuvers came to an end. Then China offered one country, two systems solution to Taiwan. Taiwan rejected the solution, and we have seen two US delegations after that visit Taiwan. A bipartisan US Senate delegation visited Taiwan, then another US lawmaker arrived in Taiwan. And after Nancy Pelosi's visit, we know that China suspended all dialogue with the US, dialogue on military issues, dialogue on climate change, other issues was suspended. So tension there, and 2 days ago, US sent its warships to pass through Taiwan Strait. China said it was an act of provocation, but US said that it had right to sail in international waters. So tensions there. US has a considerable military presence close to China in South Korea, in Japan. US has its military presence. China is well prepared as well. There are dozens of Chinese military bases along Chinese eastern coast. So tensions there. One drone shot down over Kinmen Island. Secondly, viewers, Russia-Ukraine conflict. Around 2 weeks ago, we heard from Pentagon that the US was going to provide anti-radiation missiles to Ukraine. Anti-radiation missiles are used to target radars of air defense systems, S-300, S-400, other types of air defense systems. These missiles are fired mostly from planes, jets, and they target ADs, air defense systems, their radars on the ground. Haram is the name of US manufactured anti-radiation missile. And these missiles are now in use. Ukrainian military is using these missiles. It has been confirmed in the ongoing counteroffensive launched by Ukrainian military in southern Ukraine against Russian forces. Ukraine has not made any significant gains in this counteroffensive, but use of this US-supplied Haram missile to target Russian radars of air defense systems has been confirmed. 2 days ago, Ukrainian forces released a video, and in that video, these missiles were shown fitted on Ukrainian jets. And reportedly, TB2s are back in action as these anti-radiation missiles are being used. So, in combination with these Haram missiles, TB2s of Turkey are back in action on southern front. So far, no signs of any major gains by Ukrainian forces in this counteroffensive. Meanwhile, another attack on a bridge over Dnieper River today. Novokakhovka bridge connects parts of Kherson Oblast across Dnieper River, and we know that Ukrainian forces have been trying to hit Novokakhovka and Antonivsky bridges over Kherson. These bridges were damaged. Russians repaired them. Russians are using a pontoon bridge as well for their supplies across Dnieper. Once again today, Novokakhovka bridge was targeted by Ukraine in some precise strikes. After every 2 to 3 days, we hear claims from Ukrainian military that Novokakhovka and Antonivsky, other bridges over Dnieper, are being targeted to cut off supplies to Russian military in Kherson, but still bridges are there. Ukraine could not completely destroy these bridges over Dnieper so far. Lastly, at last, IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors managed to reach at Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which came under Russian control in March. Ukraine's nuclear power plant, Europe's largest nuclear power plant, is the place where there are serious tensions ongoing. In case of radiation, its impact would be catastrophic, and some UN Security Council sessions were held. It was agreed by Ukraine and Russia that an IAEA team will be allowed to visit this power plant. The team arrived at the power plant on a Thursday. Though Russian Defense Ministry just an hour ago accused Ukraine that it tried to stop this visit by launching some attacks early in the morning on Thursday, but somehow inspectors managed to reach the nuclear power plant. Rafael Grossi, head of IAEA, is returning from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant after the completion of his visit, but other inspectors are still there who will remain there at the plant. Question is, what will happen next? Will some other force, UN peacekeepers or some others, be allowed to take over this plant? Because now Russians are in control of this plant. Ukraine is trying to take back this plant while there are fears of radioactive emission. So far, no agreement could be reached about the control of a plant by a third party, which is being recommended by EU countries and US. Let's see what Rafael Grossi recommends after his visit. He is back on his way from the plant. Take a listen to what he said after the completion of his visit to Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Thank you for watching.
We are finishing our long-awaited visit to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. I have just completed a first tour of the key areas that we wanted to see in this first approach to the whole facility. Of course, there is a lot more to do. My team is staying on, and more importantly, and most importantly, we are establishing a continued presence from the IAEA here.